This video is about how to calculate gross pay for hourly and salaried employees. Gross pay is the amount of money an employee earns in a specific time period before any deductions. If an employee is paid weekly, she will be interested in her weekly gross pay. If she's paid monthly, she will want to know her monthly gross pay. But remember, the gross pay is always before deductions, so what the employee actually takes home will be different. There are lots of different ways to calculate gross pay depending on how an employee is paid. I'm going to describe the two most common ways, hourly and salary. When an employee is paid hourly, he is paid a fixed amount for every hour of work. So, if he gets paid $10 an hour and he works 8 hours, his gross pay is $80. An hourly employee's gross pay must be calculated on a weekly basis, whether he is actually paid weekly or not. This is because of a little thing called overtime. The federal government's Fair Labor Standards Act says the rules for overtime are: employees must receive overtime pay for hours worked over 40 in a work week at a rate not less than time and 1/2 their regular rates of pay. What this means is if an employee works more than 40 hours during a 7-day stretch, he must be paid overtime. So this complicates our gross pay calculation a bit because we need to check the total number of hours that each employee worked to see if they worked more than 40. Here's an example. Luke works 5 hours on Sunday, 8 hours on Monday, 10 hours on Tuesday, 9 hours on Wednesday, 8 hours on Thursday, 7 hours on Friday, and 4 hours on Saturday. If he is paid $12 an hour, what is his gross pay for this week? The first thing we need to do is add up all of Luke's hours. Now we'll split it into regular hours and overtime hours. The first 40 hours are regular hours, and the remaining 11 are overtime hours. So we'll calculate Luke's gross pay by first multiplying his regular hours by his regular rate of pay of $12. That gives us $480. Then we'll take his overtime hours and multiply them by his regular rate of pay, $12, and then increase it by 1.5 times by multiplying by 1.5. So 11 times 12 times 1.5 is 198. Finally, we need to add the regular pay to the overtime pay. 480 plus 198 is $678. So Luke's gross pay for the week is $678. Now what about if an employee is paid a salary? Salary is usually quoted annually, but it's not uncommon to see monthly salary quoted as well. To calculate the gross pay for a specific pay period when given an annual salary, take the annual salary and divide by the number of pay periods in a year. The most common payroll periods are weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, and monthly. Remembering how many payroll periods there are in a year for each can be tricky. Start by remembering that each year has 52 weeks. So, if an employee gets paid weekly, divide the annual salary by 52. If an employee gets paid bi-weekly or every 2 weeks, the number of payroll periods is 26, or 52 divided by 2. So the gross pay is the annual salary divided by 26. For monthly and semi-monthly payroll periods, remember that each year has 12 months. So if an employee gets paid monthly, divide the annual salary by 12. If an employee gets paid semi-monthly or twice a month, the number of payroll periods is 24, or 12 times 2. So the gross pay is the annual salary divided by 24. It's that easy. So let's do an example. Ivy makes $35,000 per year. Let's calculate her gross pay for the 4 different payroll periods. If Ivy is paid weekly, her gross pay every week will be $673.08. If Ivy is paid biweekly, her gross pay every 2 weeks will be $1,346.15. If Ivy is paid semi-monthly, her gross pay twice a month will be $1,458.33. And if Ivy is paid monthly, her gross pay every month will be $2,916.67. Don't forget that although Ivy's gross pay is different depending on how frequently she gets paid, she is still paid $35,000 over the entire year, unless, of course, she gets a raise.